Months before they came, I happened to be in Ner Yisrael because my son, who learns there, was getting married, and we had the Ufruf in the Ner Yisrael yeshiva. And after davening, we all filed by the Rosh Yeshiva to pay our respects. When I said I was from Sharon, he said, "We're sending two of our very best to Sharon. You should know that." And of course, being a cynical type, I thought to myself, yeah, right, they all say that. He was right. He was absolutely right.
I was unsure of what a kollel was. I was curious.
My initial reaction was that I thought, uh-oh, here's another fundraising type of deal, and some other folks who want to get in on the development world of Sharon money.
And I have to say I was very, very skeptical. I really had my doubts as to whether it was going to work here. But it must have been 6 months later that they came and actually started it, and it's really been thriving ever since.
These are two people who weren't familiar with the community, who came here and didn't know what you couldn't do. So as a result, they did things nobody thought could happen.
The whole idea of bringing an entire community together around a learning project is pretty unprecedented. Whenever I've mentioned it to people in other communities, they're kind of in awe. They're kind of really surprised that that's possible, and that anybody would even have thought to do it, because how could it possibly work?
I'll tell you what makes this kollel unique is the joy and friendliness and enthusiasm that each of the kollel members brings. It's really not something that you see anywhere else. And it is the most beautiful form of Yiddishkeit, Judaism, because it's so non-threatening. It's so full of love that I think that it's really had an effect. It has an effect on all of us. I think it makes each of us individually better people. I think it makes us better family people. And I think that it strengthens us both as a community and all the way down to the family level. And I'm just very, very thankful to God that the kollel exists.
I can't believe what they've accomplished in such a short time. I mean, I've lived here, with the exception of, brief periods of my life, for 40-something years. I mean, they've accomplished more in the past few years. It's unbelievable what the people have brought together, and the relationships and the connections. I mean, they know more people than I do. How did that happen?
My introduction to the kollel was on a walk home from Shul one Shabbos, and I stopped by my friend Rubo's house. He's on the way home, and there were these two guys, look like they're from out of town. A little bit, young guy.
Then I read a newspaper article about Rabbi Wiener, and he looked way too young. And it also said that he was giving classes.
I heard there was a wonderful teacher teaching a Parsha class very close by. Thankful for that, and showed up. And Rabbi Wiener, who was teaching the class, just was so insightful, and just starting from the first night, just thankful to have a teacher who was so thoughtful, with such meaningful insight on the Parsha, that worked into the schedule of someone with a couple little ones.
No one can really explain the kollel. You have to be there. You have to feel the kollel. I mean, there's no words that can describe what Moshe and Yitzi and their wives bring. It's something that you have to just try out. And once it's like, you get addicted to coffee, you'll get addicted to the kollel. It's just, this energy that just comes from somewhere, and you get this, it just pulls you in, and you just want to be part of the energy, because it's incredible.
The kollel brings people together.
And their activities bring together Jews across the spectrum of Sharon. So it's really nice to meet people from different shuls, people who don't go to shul.
I think it brought people from just, different congregations, from Reform to Conservative to Orthodox. I mean, myself, I never really had any contact with anyone that was Orthodox in town.
What they've brought is Jewish unity that's beyond anything that was ever here before. The Kollel has crossed every boundary of shul or denomination and really made this a much more unified Jewish community here in Sharon.
I think the different rebbeim and the different lay leaders really see them as partners, and that together they're able to really bring growth and new opportunities to the community.
I was absolutely blown away by their Siyum of Tanakh last year with over 700 people attending. And these were people from all walks of life. Their ability to connect to people is just amazing.
The whole community coming together to do this, there's no precedent for that in my knowledge. I've lived in Sharon for, I guess it's about 10 years. And I have not seen anything like that. Oh, 11 years? 11 years. 12 years?
They're awesome, and they're always so happy to see you. They always like as when you walk in a room, they make you feel like you're the only person there, and I'm like, how do they do that? I mean, just they have their own, and I swear they must have energy pills.
And every time he greets you with not just a handshake, but a hug. And every time you leave him, it's a hug as well. And there are a few men who aren't used to that in their lives. I happen to be one who is used to that. But a few men have been hugging other men more recently than they used to before Yitzi came.
Same thing with Moshe. I think the first time I met Moshe, he knew about me, but I didn't know that much about him. And it was one of these things where, you know, he just gave me a hug immediately. You know, it was very warm.
It's a warm experience. Anytime you're as a student, you're greeted with a hug from your teacher, and then you leave with a hug from your teacher, I think is I don't think the value can be measured. It's totally invaluable.
Their ability to make each person feel holy. Their ability to awaken in each person that person's individual connection to Yiddishkeit. They don't come off, as do so many evangelical personalities, if you'll forgive the term, they don't come off like they're trying to sell something. They come off as though they're trying to help you discover something.
The thing that touched me the most, and continues to touch me, is that every few Fridays or so, I get a call Friday afternoon, and it's Yitzi's. I just call him and wish you a beautiful Shabbos. And it touches me so deeply. Like Friday, he doesn't have anything better to do. But the truth is, he doesn't think he has anything better than to call and wish people good Shabbos.
Anna, and I couldn't catch the phone, and I heard his message, and I'm thinking, oh, he must need something, like favor, money, something. Why is he calling me Erev Rosh Hashanah? No, it was just to wish our family a good Yom Tov. I listened to it twice just to make sure I hadn't missed it.
One Friday afternoon, they had really been here that long at that point. My phone rang. I answered the phone, and it was Rabbi Wiener, and I said, hello. He said, hello. I said, I'm just calling because I want to wish you a good Shabbos.
Oh, yeah.
And periodically, he does it often. And I was like, can I help you with something? He said, no, I'm really just calling to wish you a good Shabbos.
You want a donation?
Among the other 5,000 things he's doing, he stopped to call me and wish me a good Shabbos.
And not infrequently, I get a message on my machine telling me to have a good Shabbos. He's an incredible guy.
I think the benefits are so tremendous in the community. I think that I really believe that our community unity is what's going to really change the world. That by bringing us together and by each person individually reaching a new level for themselves and for their families, I think that's going to make us a really richer community and really a richer world altogether.
I think that the most impressive achievement is the buzz that's in our community about the Kollel. With all
these teenagers in town. They get together every other Sunday night and they schmooze and eat, and they talk about Jewish values and how it pertains to teenagers. It's the most wonderful thing. These young kids are excited to be Jewish together, to express that, to explore that. It's the best thing in the world.
You know, I've seen families who, you know, never used to spend Shabbos together as a nuclear family, and you know, now they do. You know, there are people who learn together on their own.
Every time we learn together, but with each of them, we both come away feeling just so, you know, filled up. So it's a great thing to have. It's like my vitamin T.
We usually get into little side discussions which are so inspiring. You walk out in the morning and you're just sort of, you're looking at things in a totally different light, and it's something that really, like, I look forward to. And also it carries with you after, it really kind of carries with you the rest of the day. So it's sort of, it actually influences your whole day. That you're not just like that moment and it ends. You go to work and you have another, you have that feeling of what you've been doing.
They've also brought back, I think, pride in Judaism. And that learning doesn't have to be boring. Learning can be fun and exciting and new.
For some people, like to go to a spa and get a massage for an hour. And I'm not belittling the benefits of that. That's much more physical. To me, this is an emotional spa. And that just came to my mind as we were talking. To me, this is an emotional spa. Going to Yitzi is having a massage for your brain and your soul.
And I'm like, wow, like I want to be a part of that, because what they have, if they have something special that I want to be a part of.
What's really impressive is at any event they always thank their wife. They say, I could not have done this, this wouldn't have happened. There's sort of, the wives are, you know, quiet maybe behind the scenes, but they're amazing, powerful women.
I think Chaya is actually their secret weapon. You know, if you spend any time with her, you know, she has brilliant ideas, tremendous creative energy, and you know, Yitzi's always bouncing ideas off of her and asking for her input. And you know, if you see the way she is with her kids or with Shabbos guests or at the dinners, and you get a little glimpse, a little taste of her contribution, but it's so much greater.
Raka she's incredible. She taught me how to make challah, and I didn't know. I'd never made it before, and I've gone over her house at least 3 or 4 times, and every time I braid, she tells me how beautiful it is, and it's not. It really is not beautiful looking at all, and hers are perfect.
It's a gift. The Kollel of Sharon is a tremendous gift from Hashem, and I'm grateful every day to have such gifts.
Moshe reached out to my son. Stephen was having a tough time, and he's my 10-year-old son, and it was around Sukkot, and he brought Stephen to this gentleman's house, and they built his sukkah. And to me, that meant more to me than anything. He's running all over the place, but he took time out for my son to help him and to let him know that he wasn't alone, and you know, things were going to be okay, and he was always there for him no matter what. And that to me just blew me away.
We're at the Kollel because it has such a deep effect on individuals, on families, on small subgroups of constituencies, and on synagogues. We are strengthening our synagogues because of the presence of the Kollel, which from an outside, uneducated viewpoint might seem counterintuitive. But if you're having effects on people at so many different levels, you're affecting the Jewish people.
I think that there's still so much to be done. There's so many more programs. There's so many synagogue programs that have been done.
It's hard to imagine that they could be doing any more than what they're already doing. They already have been doing. But I know Yitzi's already got ideas percolating.
I'm convinced that you know, it's not a question of, you know, can the Kollel top what they just did. It's going to be more a mix of a mix of excitement and anticipation at what's the Kollel going to do next. I think with Nathaniel and Riva on board, we're gonna see great things from the Kollel that we